One thing that grief therapists recommend that you do is write a letter to your child. And maybe you've already done this. I decided that I wanted to speak at my son's graveside service, at baby Kevin's graveside service. And so I remember sitting down one night once everybody had gone to bed, and I started to try to write my thoughts and feelings, and it wouldn't come. And I finally just said a prayer asking the Lord to help me articulate what I was feeling, to help me put it on paper. And after doing that, the thoughts and feelings just flowed. And I was able to write this letter to my son. And then I read it at the graveside service. I didn't know if I would be able to emotionally do that, but I'm grateful that I was. My husband was on standby to read it for me if I needed him to, but I was able to do it. And my cute sister-in-law, Mindy, brought a whole big basket full of Kleenexes, and we were covered. But it was very, very healing to write it, to share it. For my experience, my people, my family and friends didn't know baby Kevin. And of course, I had only been with him for an hour, but I had carried him for the entire pregnancy. And so I got to know him while he was inside me. I was given glimpses of his little personality and his spirit. And so I was able to share some of those things through this letter with my family when I read it. And I also shared it. I'm a blogger, if I think I've said that before. And so I shared it on my blog as well, because my followers had been so supportive throughout my whole pregnancy. And so many people loved this baby too, even though they never had the opportunity to meet him. But a few things that grief therapist Mary Ricks suggests that you include in a letter, and it's never too late, even if it's been years. And it's also, you can never write too many letters. It could be something that you do every year on their birthday, or you maybe just like me, I've just done it once. Actually, our entire family wrote their brother, their cousin, their nephew letter, and we put them in the casket before we buried him. And then I actually asked for copies, so I would have the copy for myself as well. And it was beautiful to read how this little baby had affected so many of our family's lives in his short little time on earth. It's incredible, the worth of a soul, and what meaning each life has. But some of the recommendations by this therapist in writing a letter is to write what you wish there was more of. What did you miss out on? Go ahead and write those feelings. Write what you wanted to have done better. If you have some regrets, write what you wish you would have done differently or better. And read the letter aloud to a trusted mentor. So I trusted my whole family, and I read it aloud. And as I mentioned, I shared it on my blog as well. But it's interesting, the power of writing down and processing through writing. It's very, very healing. And so I would just, if you haven't had the opportunity to write a letter, or if it's something that you just want to write another one, I would do it. Do it as often as you want. You can keep a journal of thoughts and ideas and things that you would say to your child if they were still here. Anything like that is so healing and helpful. And as Mary Ricks says, when you write, it takes the messiness of grief, the messiness, and reduces it to words and gives it something that you can work with and process. So that's just kind of my experience with writing. I know many moms will write posts about and I've done this too, usually on our son's anniversary. I often will write some kind of post out on social media about, how I'm feeling about him, my gratitude for him, whatever it looks like for you. It can be very private, but I would recommend sharing it with at least one person who you can trust, somebody on your earthly team who you know you can trust with your heart and with sharing those words. So yeah, I promise it will be helpful.